Everyone knew something was different the moment Wang stepped in front of that camera, and his eyes told a story his mouth had been holding back for months. Because here's the thing about Wang. This is a man who has spent years being the face of romance on screen, playing the brooding, passionate lover so convincingly that millions of fans fell for characters he brought to life. But nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, he has ever performed on screen comes close to what he revealed in that raw, unscripted moment that has the entire internet completely frozen right now. The confession that nobody saw coming. The words that broke a million hearts and healed them at the exact same time. Wang looked directly into that camera and said what so many people had been whispering about for months. That Shen Yue never left his heart. Not once. Not for a single day. If this is your first time hearing about this story, and you want every single update as it unfolds, hit that subscribe button right now, because this channel has been following Dylan and Shen Yue closer than anyone, and we are just getting started. Now let's talk about what actually happened, because the full picture is so much more emotional and layered than the headlines are giving it credit for. Cast your mind back to when these two first stepped into each other's worlds on the set of Meteor Garden. Two young actors, thrown together by a script, asked to perform a love story for the cameras. But anyone who watched closely, and millions of us did, could see that something was bleeding through the edges of the performance. Something that did not feel like acting. Something that felt uncomfortably, beautifully real. The chemistry between Wang and Shen Yue was the kind that directors cannot manufacture and stylists cannot dress up. It was just there, raw and electric, every single time they shared a frame together. And then came the years of speculation. The public appearances that felt too comfortable to be purely professional. The way they looked at each other during press events, like the rest of the room had temporarily ceased to exist. Fans were not imagining things. They never were. The signs were all there for anyone paying attention. Then came the silence. The kind of silence between two people that says more than any statement ever could. The kind where schedules mysteriously stop overlapping and social media activity shifts in a direction that feels deliberate. People started asking questions. The fan community, which had built entire empires of hope around the idea of Dishin being real, began to fracture between those who believed and those who were preparing for heartbreak. And heartbreak did come. The news spread like cold water, the confirmation that Dylan and Shen Yue had gone their separate ways. Agencies released statements. Articles were written. Fans cried in comment sections across 3 different languages. It felt final. It felt like the closing of a chapter that too many people had invested too much of their hearts into. But then Wang did something nobody expected. He talked, not in the careful, PR-approved language of a managed celebrity statement. Not through an agency spokesperson, choosing every syllable with legal precision. He talked the way a person talks when something has been sitting on their chest for so long that keeping it in becomes more painful than letting it out. He talked the way someone talks when they have finally decided that the truth matters more than the image. I never stopped loving Shen Yue. 6 words. 6 words that rewrote everything. Because here is what those 6 words mean when you understand the full context of who Wang is as a person. This is not a man known for making grand emotional declarations. This is someone who has historically kept his private life under extraordinary lock and key, who has deflected personal questions with the practiced ease of someone who learned very early that vulnerability in the public eye comes with a price. For Wang to say those words out loud, to let them exist beyond the controlled walls of his inner circle, that is enormous. That is a person who has reached a point where silence is no longer an option. And the timing of this confession adds yet another layer to an already complicated story. Because this is not happening in a vacuum. This is happening while Shen Yue is navigating her own chapter, building her career in directions that have her audience watching with equal intensity. This is Wang putting something incredibly personal into the open air at a moment when the consequences are entirely unpredictable. He does not know how she will respond. He does not know how the industry will respond. And he said it anyway. That takes a specific kind of courage that people do not always give celebrities credit for having. What makes the story grip people so deeply goes beyond the fame and the fan base and the years of accumulated speculation. At its core, this is a story that almost everyone can find some version of themselves inside. The person you met at the exact wrong time, or the right time that became the wrong time somewhere along the way. The relationship that had everything going for it except the circumstances lining up the way they needed to. The love that did not disappear just because the relationship did. Dylan Wang is standing in front of the world right now representing every single person who has ever had to sit with feelings that refuse to follow the neat, logical timeline that life demanded of them. And Shen Yue, whatever she is feeling right now, whatever her response to all of this ultimately turns out to be, she is also carrying something real. Their story did not begin as a publicity strategy. It grew out of two people spending enormous amounts of time together, building something genuine in the spaces between takes and press schedules and the relentless machinery of being young and famous in an industry that consumes people whole. That kind of bond does not dissolve cleanly. It lingers. It rewrites itself. It waits. The question that has the entire internet holding its breath right now is what happens next. Does this confession change anything between them? Does Shen Yue respond? Does the story that millions of people have rooted for since Meteor Garden get a second chapter that nobody dared believe was possible? Nobody knows yet. And honestly, that uncertainty is part of what makes this moment so completely consuming. Because for once, the ending has not been written. The script is not locked. Whatever happens between Dylan Wang and Shen Yue from this point forward is happening in real time, unedited, without a director calling cut. What we know is this. Dylan Wang looked into the space between himself and the world watching him, and he told the truth. After everything, after the silence and the distance and the months of carefully managed nothing, he told the truth. And sometimes that is exactly where the most important stories begin.